Okay, I'm going to make up a Python Flask application to look at my database, and I want it to be able to show the queue. So I'm going to start in the middle. I like to start with the outputs in a project. So I'll put some data in database. I'm going to import Flask now, and I'm also going to from Flask import Flask. And I'm also going to import SQLite 3. And let's create an app. App is Flask name and app root dot root. Okay, so top one is going to be static. So my top root is going to be static. So def index page. That takes no parameters. Okay, I will want to be taking this from a template, I guess. So just pause. So I want to return render template, and I have an index page. Okay, and the other one I want is def. So this is something that's going to return JSON. Okay, so what I want to do is I need root, so app.root, and the root here is get queue. Okay, so def get queue takes no parameters, and that will. Okay, this has got to do some database work, so I've got to open the database, pull all the items out, and return them. Let's just hard code something to start with. So I'm going to return what will we do? So this should be a list of things. So it should be a list of items. I'll put in a square bracket, and each item should have a number. I want single quotes on the outside and double quotes on the inside. So that's going to be ID. Let me hard code some values here. 105, and its status, which will be what have we got? We've got ready. We've got processing. Processing is the status of the first item, and we've got a complete one as well, I think. So let's put that in. So ID is 106, I think it was, and that one has status, which is ready. Okay, so that's hard-coded. Very soon we'll want that to come from a database, but I just want to get this going first. So get queue has got a root. I'm going to save that. Oh no, I've got to do more than that. I've got to put in another thing to start it running. So if name is main, then app.run, host is 0.0.0.0, and port is going to be 5036, and debug is true. Let's see if that runs. Okay, I'm going to store that as, so this is server.py. Let's try and run that. Python server, didn't like that. Okay, this should be Boolean equals. That's not an assignment, that's a test. So if name equals that, try again. Wait for the debug message. Yes, that's coming up. So we'll see if we can visit that page. Okay, so this is going to be at localhost 5036. Okay, render template is not defined. That's fair enough because I should have had that here. Render template. Save that. I don't know if that's killed the server. Yeah, looks like it's restarted. Reload. It's not found the template. That's good because I haven't got a template for that yet. I'll put that in. But what should work is the get queue. So let's try that. /get queue. Good. So that's my JSON object. Okay, and I want to have a queue that will show that list rather more nicely. So I'm going to make a template to do that. So we'll create a HTML template. Doc type HTML, and I'm going to include all the normal tags, and I'm also going to put in place some jQuery. I'm going to use some jQuery to make requests of my server, not biddy body. Well, I've done that wrong, so open it before you close it. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, so I want to include some JavaScript, so we'll have, what have we got? We've got script. Source is, I want code.jQuery. I looked it up, but I'm going to copy and paste that in. So that's jQuery. I'll have my own script here. So script source is, okay, so that's going to be /static/ store.js /script. Okay, let's have somewhere to put the queue. So I'm going to create a table. Now I'll create a div to hold the queue. So div id equals queue. Right, so in that div, I'm going to place the queue. So this is going to be the screen that customers can see. So this is the screen that will look at the queue. So let's save this. Okay, so that needs to go in the templates folder. Templates, and this will be the queue.html. Okay, I also need this one here, this static store. So let's create my jQuery. So here's my jQuery, and let's start out by saying in the queue div, let's just check that it's working. We'll put Andrew was here. Okay, so that's jQuery writing to the queue. So that's got to go in static. So a new folder called static. And this has got to be called store.js. Okay, so that's q.html. I need a path to that. So that was my index page, which I still haven't written. Let's make up a queue. So uproot queue, and we will render template queue.html. Let's try again. So queue. That's connected and loaded. It can't find it. I've got two things called the same thing, so that's index page. This is queue page. Let's restart the server and try and visit. Okay, that all worked incredibly well. So what happened there was that this page loaded, that loaded this script. This script just put that text in. I don't want to put that text in. Let's put in waiting for results. Okay, and what we'll do immediately on load is refresh the queue. Okay, so I'm going to write a function to refresh the queue. And what that does is it makes an AJAX call. So dot get JSON. The URL will be this thing here, get queue. So get queue, and the results will come back in D. So this is what happens on success. So on success, D comes back, and what I have to do is first of all clear the queue. So that div has got to be emptied, and then for var I equals 0, I is less than d.length I++. I will make up a div. It'll probably be more complicated than this eventually. So I'll make up a div, and inside that div, I'll put another div. No, I won't. I'll put in a span. We could use a table for this, and it might be a good idea to do a table. So we'll make up a span, and the text of that span will be di dot. Okay, so this is the kind of data. It's got an ID and it's got a status. So we'll put the ID in, and then we'll put the status in. So that is ID. And we'll have another div with the status. And that's all good. So we've created the div, and now let's put that div into the queue div. Okay, so we emptied it, and then we run around the loop, and every item we'll put in on refresh queue. So let's save that, and let's reload. And it says waiting for results, and then nothing happened. Let's press F12 to see what went wrong. I can see I've got some errors here. Let me reload. Okay, so store happened, but it looks like it didn't make its AJAX call. What's that error? Get JSON is not a function. Indeed it isn't. Let's get JSON all capitals. Save that and reload this. Okay, so let's put my two items in. So this is the queue being processed. Okay, so I've hard-coded both these values in here. I want to get these from the database. I also want this to update. I want this one to be updating itself every 5 seconds. We'll do that in the next video.